it's Renee here today, and I have a boatload of paper shopping bags from those times I've forgotten to take my cloth bags to the supermarket. So I wanted to figure out something I could use them for other than bags and I thought I'd have a go at making a journal out of one, so I thought I would show you what I've come up with. So first I'm going to open my bag and I want to slit up each corner. So once you've cut your bag open, you should have this kind of shape, and that is the shape that we want. Now, when I was experimenting with this, I learnt some things that I wish I'd done at this point, so I'm going to do those now because I didn't when I was playing with it. So I'm going to remove the handles. And I also am going to get a second bag to use as patch pieces for covering the logos and stuff. So on this second bag, I'm just going to cut off a single panel to use at the moment. We can always go back and salvage more if we need it. Okay, so I want to cover the words. So I want to tear off pieces big enough for that job. And I want to make sure I have rough edges everywhere. And if I don't tear off enough, I'll just use another piece rather than waste the piece I've torn. So need a glue stick and a bit of paper to glue on. And making sure to put the glue on the side that has any print, because we want to hide all that print. I'm just going to put a little art glitter glue around the edge to help really hold those edges down. And pressing tissue to wipe off the excess. And I'm just going to go around and do this on all the logos and bits on the bag. Right, I've covered these parts on the outside, but I also need to cover these parts where I ripped the handles off on the inside. Alright, I had to take a break to recharge my headphones and let this glue dry, and now we have an assistant. there goes the assistant. Right, so we've covered all the text and the handle bits. Now I'm going to fold this flap over and back like this. Same with this one, over and back like this, and then this one over. Where it just overhangs a little, I'll just fold it in, and then this one over as well, like that. And I might as well just fold that bit in so it's out of the way. Right, then all of this is going to be folded like this in half. I'm now going to use my pressing tool to do some firm pressing. This is going to be the spine of the book, or the signature, however you want that to be. And before I do any trimming, I am going to bind it. So I'm going to be using this thickish hessian twine and a needle with a big enough eye. I need my mat to help me pierce through, and I'm going to find wherever the centre part is. I'm going to put a hole in the middle with the needle, and I'm going to wiggle, because this twine is thick. I'm going to wiggle this. I want that hole to be a little bigger than my needle. Then I'm going to put another hole about 2 centimetres in from the top. And wiggle. And another hole 2 centimetres from the bottom. These are all just rough, not actually measuring anything. Press through and a bit of wiggling. Alright, so I'm going to start by going back through that middle hole I made. And to help me pull it through, I'm just going to use some pliers to grab my needle. Bit of wiggling and we're through. I'm going to go through one side. There we go. Pull. Wiggle, 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 pull. Then I'm going to go back through the centre hole. Through the another hole. Good enough. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right. Don't know how I managed to do that, but whatever. It's going to be where I tie it, so I don't think it matters. Off, put that through there. I'll take the needle off now, tie that one way like that, and then the other way like that. Alright, all bound together it another press. Okay, so now I need to do some chopping. So you're going to need a ruler. I'm using the spine as the straight edge on my mat as the guide. And I'm going to carefully cut that's one. Two. And then this one. Okay, so now we have, oh, that one's not cut properly. Look, could be a happy accident, and we could leave it and make that page pocket, or I can chop a bit more off. Let's flick through and see if there's anything else we'll need to fix. Alright, so it just is that one page there. I think it might be cool to leave that. It's a miracle it didn't actually get cut. So I'm going to turn that into a pocket page. So happy accident. That if that didn't happen, you could, and you wanted one, you could obviously glue two pages together. But since it has happened, I'm keeping it. Now, right now it's just a naked, undecorated, you know, only just put together journal. There's bits that need either gluing down or covering, and you can get a bit creative, like these little flaps in here. You could, you know, fold them up and make it a little tuck spot, or you could put some embellishments on this side and this side and have it as a little flip. You've got another one there. So it's, you know, get creative. And these pages that we patched, here's one of them here, I don't think they look terrible. I think it suits my kind of junk journal style. So for a quick book from a paper bag, I'm not unhappy with it. One I made earlier, this is that one that I started decorating. I did the cover. At first I just did some layers of lace and paper, and then that felt a bit plain, so I put some embellishments on the front. And the back I just ended up putting just strips of paper to cover that folded part. And then inside I left these open. I glued it here, so this has got a little tuck spot up here and another one here, and I put lace along the edge tied where I'd glued them shut. I had an experiment in this one with putting some ink around the patches to see how that looked, but I ended up not liking that as much as just the plain patchwork pieces. I just think they kind of blend in so well, they kind of go mostly invisible. There's a couple of pages that have this little flappy piece. Let's see if I can find one. Here's one. From the seam of the bag, and I just thought I'll pop a bit of lace under that and glue it down, and that's how that turned out, and I like that look. And there was another one here, and again I did the same thing on this end. There's a couple of pockets here. That's so good. No, I didn't glue that shut, it's just tight. So, you know, I could start working through this and embellishing it however I like. I'll just quickly show you how I did that. Not that it's hard, but I'll just give you the quick demo. So on this page here, I'm going to want to smooth the whole page, so I'll glue this down a bit better. So this is just gluing strips down and overlapping them. With the first one, I'm starting with a sort of flat edge to go along the edge of the page. And I'm not worried at the moment about the overhanging parts at the side. I'm just getting some coverage at the moment. While I've got you here for this bit, this is the seam that's glued on the bag. I find this really handy for making your own reinforcement rings because it's a nice thickness, and your reinforcement punch will knock them out easily, and then you can have just a little collection of these little brown reinforcement rings, which I think just go really well. Still in there on just about anything that needs a reinforcement ring. Anyway, that was just my little tip for this thicker bit. Now before I do this last piece on here, on this one what I did was I put a bit of lace over the spine first, so when I put my last piece on I actually did a thicker fold, so this was a straight edge there. But if you're not going to do that, if you're going to leave it so you can see the string, which is what I'll do for this one I guess, this ripped edge here is fairly straight, so I'll probably use that. Whoops, if I don't completely tear this out. See if I left enough for that. Yes, that'll work. Okay. So I'm not covering the string, I'm just going up to the edge there. Okay, so opening the page to make it easier to cut and trimming off the overhang. Now if you didn't like this inside cover looking like this, you can do exactly the same thing on the inside, and that will make the covers actually pretty sturdy and thick, having that many layers, so could be a good idea. But then that's the front cover. Which then if you're going to embellish in some way, put a picture on or something, I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's terrible. Alright, well thank you very much for joining me today, just a quick one. I hope you feel inspired to make a quick junky journal out of your paper bags. And thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.